And we back chilling the energy. We got another podcast today with Karen Gibson. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. So pleased to be here.
Okay. I'm glad to have you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you being on today for sure. Let's start with this. How did you get into wanting to help people on their healing journey and stuff like that and letting go?
Well, actually, I went through a major roller coaster journey with my daughter. She sunk into depression right after my dad passed away. So I was healing while she was healing, and
Yeah.
my journal actually turned into a book, Mama's Gotta Let Go, How to Let Go Without Losing Your Sanity. And I've always been a strong believer in energy, in angels, and I realized that I needed to let go, which is the hardest thing, right? To trust your journey, to trust your family's journey, and it is not easy. So now I'm actually helping parents who have a hard time letting go as well.
As though letting go can be tough, especially when you're like used to certain things. You get really comfortable in like your surroundings, and it can be scary going from what's comfortable, and then you're leaping into the unknown. So I think that really makes it tough, is the fear of the unknown.
Oh, the fear of the unknown is, and you know what happens is that you have a negative narrative, right? So the unknown makes you believe in the worst case scenario. My child will
Mhm.
fail, or I'm a, horrible parent that will ruin my child and their future will be affected. But I think if we learn, right, to trust ourselves and just know that we do know that, and it really is, like you said, I love your name, channeling that energy, because if
Thank
we
you.
don't channel positive energy, then don't you think we start allowing negative energy to get the best of us?
Yeah, it's really like about balance, and going through that healing journey. You kind of have to like let go of the ego from the healing part of the aspect. You have to detach from the ego to do that spiritual work, that inner work,
Hmm.
and then you can like get back into your that whole aspect of you, and like balancing like all everything. But before you do that, you have to you know detach from the ego so you can heal, because the ego is going to tell you like stuff like you were saying, like this is scary, this is unknown, this I never experienced this before, but what's going to happen there is just a bunch of questions. But if you just have faith on your journey, I think it can really be huge for you, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And that's the hardest thing, though, right? To
Yeah.
have that faith and to not allow the ego to control us because it's the default. I mean, our brain automatically goes to, you better be careful, something
Yeah.
bad might happen,
Yeah, for sure. So what inspired you? How did you get into writing the books you came out with? Like, how did you get into it?
Well, like I said, I had lost a diary, started writing it, and then someone said, turn my journal into a book. And so when I started writing it, someone also suggested putting letting go tips. So at the end of every chapter, they're just really small tips. One of the tips is do not remind your child about like deadlines. Let them go. And if they turn in a library book late, if they don't do an assignment, I mean, we really need to let go and not think that, something's forgotten, that it's not going to have a disastrous like effect. I think we really believe a failed test or a forgotten water bottle is almost a sign that in the future they will be a failure. And all it is an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah, everything's an opportunity to learn and grow. And I think we're kind of conditioned to being hard on ourselves. We just can't be so hard on ourselves. I struggle with that because I'm a Virgo sun, and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
me too. So both of us.
yeah,
Well, happy birthday. When is your birthday?
August 28th. What's yours?
August 28th was the end, September 18th. So I just
Oh,
had
happy.
mine and I thank you. We're Virgo twins. And I think even, yeah, that perfectionism and I just,
Yeah.
and you know it. in your mind, you know that perfectionism is the cause of a major anxiety, and it causes procrastination, right? Because you think,
Yeah,
oh no, if I can't get it right, then, or you keep redoing it, and then you don't think it's good enough. And if that's a message parents pass on to their children, we will continue to have children who constantly feel that they're not good enough. And that messes up energy right then and there, right?
yeah,
Never feeling that you're good enough.
yeah, and that's important to pass to the youth, and especially you are enough, you are loved, and everything, because it's we go through a lot of traumatic situations which make us doubt ourselves. Breakups, people like standing us up or like not giving us the respect or the love that we think
Hmm.
we deserve. So situations like that just make us like question that not have that make us not have that confidence like right away. It's really important.
What I think lately, a lot of people are believing the importance of healing your inner child, because if you don't heal, like you said, past trauma, and they could be many ones, like your mom forgot to pick you up from school one time, and then
Yeah,
you think in the future, what if I don't get picked up at the airport? What if I, and you allow those past experiences, at least the negative ones, define your future.
yeah, and your thoughts create your reality. So you're kind of recreating those like situations over and over again, and then you're going through cycles, a hamster wheel. You're
Hmm.
just going in, or conveyor belt, however you want to look at it. But
Well, and that's what I call it, the emotional roller coaster, because if we allow our emotions to dictate our mood, then we will always, right? They always say lately, do not believe every thought that enters our head, but we
mm,
automatically believe it.
yeah, your thoughts aren't you. It's just your experiences and programming and like the things you experience. Like, but your soul is bigger than that. It's so like spirituality, there's no limits, and then like
Hmm.
in your mind, your ego has limits. So not everybody's really fully open minded to like the unknown and like what could be. It's tough, helping people realize that. But you are limitless, whether you see it or you're not, and they will see it one day. Yeah,
Oh, I totally believe that. And if we were to be open-minded, and if we were to trust, right, trust that journey, I think it'll be life-changing, because we will not allow that negativity or that lack of trust. That's all it is. You do
yeah,
not believe in the good things to happen. You constantly believe you're on that, uh-oh, what if something bad's going to happen? And that alone can create negative energy, don't you think? That lack
Y-
of faith.
yeah, yeah. You gotta trust. Like you gotta, heal if you have trust issues, like abandonment issues, stuff like that. Like if you don't, like what you were saying about like you're at a bus stop and your mom didn't pick you up that one day and you was expecting it, and then
Hmm.
from there you might have abandonment issues, trust issues. So then when you're going trying to get into a loving relationship, that that's gonna be in the back of your mind. It's gonna hurt, like, because I've dealt with abandonment issues where like if someone I just connect with them like a week ago and then
Hmm.
like they block me the next week, it hurts like I knew them for like 10 years and they just
Oh,
but I
yes. Well, don't you think it doesn't matter? I remember in when I was about 18, I had like a 3-week relationship, and I could not believe how you can become so, like you said, closely connected, and then you take it personally. My message is, do not take anything personally, because you don't know the person who, disconnected with you, they're suffering their own journey. So it had
yeah.
nothing to do with you, but when it hurts us, it does personally feel like we did something wrong.
There's always a bigger picture. So like it may seem crazy then, but like you learn the lesson, and or that person may not been for you. That person may be on a whole different frequency. Yeah. So then you don't connect with that person, and you run into someone who's really on your frequency. But if you stayed in that relationship, that would have put you on a path that's not for you. you may not have been living like your purpose or your truth or where you're supposed to be with
Oh,
that.
that's so right. Because I think if you're not aligned, and I think that'll help prevent heartbreak. Like if it's something ends, of course it'll hurt, but if you tell yourself, "Hey, it wasn't meant to be," it does change that mindset, right? That it's not
Yeah,
like you were dumped, you were saved to have a better connection with someone else.
yeah, we're always protected by like, whatever you call it, God, universe,
Mm-hmm.
spirit, whatever resonates with you, you always protected. You got God beings guiding you at all the time, so and protecting you. So sometimes it's not for you, just period. You mentioned inner child earlier, right?
Yes.
And that is very important. Um, what are ways you can not only heal your inner child, but connect with your inner child for your experience?
From my experience, I have done a few sessions with clients who want to connect with their inner child and even friends. And I think writing a letter, like you actually have to say your name, like Dear Bradley, like I love you, or I remember the time when you were hurt. And when
Uh,
you write it, it's amazing. Like you do heal, but you have to revisit the painful parts and give your inner child, give what you needed. Maybe say at
yeah,
5 years old, something happened, so
yeah,
you revisit and you say your name, like I would say, "Hi, I'm Karen. I know that you needed a hug instead of a spanking, or you needed assurance instead of being left at school and you weren't picked up." But when
oh,
you address it, and I think a lot of times being heard, understood, and not judged is all your inner child needs.
a healing inner child is important. I like those. I like that's a unique way of doing it, like writing it down and talking to yourself like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, one way I do it is I say like a daily thing. It's kind of like a prayer meditation thing.
Oh,
Yeah, and in that I tell my inner child I love you and stuff
yes.
like that. Yeah. I think one way of connecting with our inner child is like doing something that you like to do as a child. So that could have been a cartoon or something that you watch, a game you used to like to play, like a video
Hmm.
game or a card game, you name it. Like or this could work too. Listen to a song that makes you think about those times and like get back in that energy, I guess, and just like connect
Oh,
with that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's why a lot of people as adults, they love like their high school music or their teen music. And so I just played How Deep Is Your Love? And it's amazing. Just 2 minutes of your favorite song can lift your energy because you go back in time. So like you said, the cartoons, some of the cartoons are coming back. And when I see like Care Bears or Strawberry Shortcake, my daughter's like, "Look, Mom, did you see this?" And I'm like, "I had a school folder." What? Yeah, our school folders would have Care Bears or, Strawberry
yeah,
Shortcake and
yeah. Music's a time capsule. When I listen to a certain song, it can bring you back to that day, or like when you first heard that song, or what you was doing when you heard that song. And like some of these, like it could be a song from a movie, and it could make you think of like that time you went to a movie and seen that, and all this is very powerful into connecting with that inner child, a more authentic version of yourself. Because when you're a child, you're kind of closer to your spirituality,
hmm
so it kind of gets you into a more pure state. Because a lot of stuff that we like to do as a child is stuff that we're destined to do. It's like
yes, you're right. And it could be painting, coloring, and then as an adult you re-enter that hobby and it becomes a career, or your purpose
yeah,
and passion.
yeah, at least one of them at least. Because as a child, I loved music. Uh, I always envisioned myself uh as a child, like making music, like recording it. And then I did make music in high school, but not really at the same time. I recorded a lot, but I didn't have the best at it. But
Equipment.
but yeah, so I stopped doing it, but then like, I had like a time where I got back into it, and now I'm doing it, and I always loved stuff like that.
See, and sometimes we let that stop us, right? That we don't have the right equipment, we don't have right this, but then sometimes just doing it, singing in the shower or just singing along in your car,
Yeah,
that can also create a lot of, you know, creativity and healing as well, right?
yeah, it's a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
We express ourselves creatively through whatever it is. So I like it when I make music, and I like whatever I'm feeling, I put it on the beat, and then
Mm-hmm.
I just go off of what I'm feeling, and then like I express those emotions. So if I'm ever feeling like sad or anything like that, just being creative helps me it helps me release those emotions, and that's like a way of healing for some people. But you get that hurt out, or that, and I feel like when you're sad, you make the best material.
You do. I tutor kids and even the young ones though, when they're so stressed and they're crying, I notice like I immediately switch and I put like lotion on their feet or hands. And as soon as you do movement or you play relaxing music, it's amazing how they can just switch their energy. And it's all because of, getting out of that sadness. And then
Yeah,
what comes out after, sometimes it's like ripping up a piece of paper. Sometimes it's just like playing their favorite song or a new song, right?
yeah.
And they immediately get out of that rut.
Yeah, that's important to know. Like, a lot of people, they be so stuck in their the emotion that they're going through at the moment, but they're not realizing, because they're so deep into what they're feeling, that like you can shift that energy immediately. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times with like affirmation, or like, I am grateful. Gratitude,
Yes,
gratitude,
gratitude is powerful.
gratitude. It shifts your energy immediately. Like, once you like just being grateful for the little things, and then
Mm-hmm.
like that just immediately, like, uh I feel like it skyrockets your vibration, and it just puts you into to a new state of being, and it brings you back to the moment too.
I love that skyrocket your vibration. And so little kids, a lot of times they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to," because I'm a tutor. And it's amazing that once I just introduce play or I let them speak, then all of a sudden their energy changes because, I try to make it fun. I try to make learning fun,
Yeah,
and it becomes a healing experience actually.
yeah. How did you get into teaching?
Well, actually, I left. I was a marketing director, and I felt like I wasn't fulfilled, and I felt like I needed to do something with children. So
Yeah.
I went to get a certification. I did not want to do 4 years more, and Hawaii had a program. So I was placed in a psychiatric hospital as my first teaching experience. And that, talk about mixed emotions with kids who have experienced maybe suicide attempts or parents. This one girl saw her dad shoot her mom and then shoot himself. And so you have all of these young people who need healing. And that was my first introduction to teaching.
Mm.
So I burnt out after 4 years. And then, believe it or not, Bradley, I had a dream. And it was little seeds and a rainbow that said brain builders with a tree. And I started Brain Builders in 1999. So,
Hey,
yeah, but and it was very scary because I thought, how do I find students, And my husband said, just trust. But how do that's hard. That's hard to trust when you decide to do a business. And it just celebrated what, 23 years.
congratulations for 20 years,
Yeah.
first of all. That that's important right there. It's two things you mentioned. The dreams can
Yes.
be a big teller. There's a lot of science in our dreams. Um, a lot of people don't pay attention to their dreams, or take their dreams seriously. They be like, I seen this in a dream, but it's probably just a dream, or they think it's just
Mm-hmm.
a dream. They think because they're like limited, but it's really bigger than that. It's like sometimes they be guiding you. A lot of times they be guiding you through your dreams. And
Well, it could be symbolism too, right? Symbolism.
yes,
You don't
some
realize. Yeah.
metaphorically. Yeah, it's not, and
Yes.
it's not always literal. Like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's not like my cousin was a zombie, so he's gonna turn into a zombie. But
Yeah,
sometimes,
exactly.
yeah, sometimes it's really metaphorical.
You know what's interesting? I'm glad you mentioned zombie. I had, and this is another interpretation of dreams. I had a second grader, and first something was wrong with his energy, and I said, "Do you want to talk?" No, and I said, "This is a safe place." And in 1 minute, he said, "I had a dream," and he said, "My dad turned into a zombie." But later we found out that the dad yelled at him, during like homework time. So sometimes our fears appear in dreams and it can be a learning experience, right? Because if we
Yeah,
process and understand our fears, we don't give power to them, right? When you
yeah,
think about it, if you believe in like, oh my gosh, like you said, you wake up and you're scared. So I actually taught him that don't believe, it's just a dream and how sometimes our brains might come up with these like nightmares, but it doesn't mean it's a premonition. I think a lot of kids, their brains are still forming. So
yeah,
and we've all had scary dreams, like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, it seems so real, when
yeah.
it's scary.
Mm. Yeah, I had a dream once. My sister was like doing like some hard drugs, and I couldn't handle it in the moment, so I walked away from her, and I was like kind of crying in the dream because I was like sad seeing her in that state.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then I woke up kind of feeling like that, but then like I looked at the symbolisms of shout out to Dream Moods. Dream Moods
Yeah.
be like, yeah. It's like a dream dictionary. Yeah.
Yes, I love those. I love those dream dictionaries because sometimes it's insightful. You think, oh, I just dreamt about it was bees, like a whole bunch of bees, and someone said, bees are actually a sign of like luck or good fortune, but in your dream when you see a whole bunch of bees you can't you can't see the beauty of bees. So that's what will give us I think insight, right? If we really do focus on being open-minded to like
Yeah.
anything that pops up.
Yeah, and not like letting these fears get the best of us, because
Yeah. And we have those days though, sometimes I
yeah,
think you give into fear and then I always feel like, wait, I know intellectually but emotionally.
yeah, yeah. It's a tough balance, at times, depending on what you're going through, and it can be a lot. It can be a lot of work. I'm being honest,
It can.
but
But I think awareness, don't you think awareness? I'm realizing that if you just stop and take a deep breath and just be aware,
yeah,
really question, like, wait a minute, why am I scared? And then you find out, oh, it's only because of, and it could be something small, but it's enough to judgment, right? A lot of us like, oh, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be criticized. What if,
yeah.
some,
It I do this thing, and it really helps me get to the present moment. It's so say I'm kind of emotional or something, or I'm in my head too much.
Mhm.
Because on top of being a Virgo, I'm also a light past seven, deep thinker. You know what I mean? Uh, so so I'm in my thoughts. I focus. This uh, hypothetically speaking, this is the crown chakra. This is the
Yeah.
third eye chakra. Yeah. So I focus like around there, like top of my forehead. While I'm standing, I'm not even like in a meditative position or anything like that.
Hmm.
And I'm just like this, and I I get out of my head by focusing there, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm in the moment, and I can my thoughts are pretty much gone, and they're not like gone, but it it's not as like unbearable. So where you're just drowning in thought,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and that can give you a headache, and like some physical things.
Well, that's a great analogy, though, drowning in thought, because I think if we just take a moment to be in the present, and I know some people are, tell themselves, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? And you're just in that moment. And like you said, your thoughts do seem to go away, especially the ones that cause fear, right?
Yeah, it's about stepping out into that new beginning and seeing what that was out there for you for because there's a lot of stuff that you can do in this world if you just believe in yourself first, and you be authentic and true to yourself. If you're being authentic and true to yourself and you take that leap of faith, it's like life changing what you can do, because then you start attracting things into your life like opportunities and stuff like that that
Oh,
you,
definitely.
that you didn't even think was possible, like
Well,
and
miracles that, yeah, like you said, like you couldn't even plan, the magic that you create, because you need to be, like you said, in the right energy, aligned, and then have
alignment.
that yeah, and then have that faith, and then like they say, anything is possible.
Yeah, alignment is really important. It's probably like one of the most important things. Like, 'cause if you're not in alignment, you're not gonna be getting like you're not gonna be feeling good about your journey, one. But two, like you're not gonna be getting all these like signs and stuff like that. Like you're in the right journey. Like when you started your business
Oh, my
and
green builders, yeah, yeah. And see, I almost stopped. Almost didn't follow through because of the fear. Like, who's going to even, I never thought of it. And then in 2019, that's when I started letting go with Aloha. So it's funny. I'm glad that Deslin introduced us, but her business is healing with Aloha. So it's funny how we met, and it's like healing with Aloha. Mine is letting go with Aloha. So now we do a lot of collaborations, and like, who could have imagined we live on different islands. We didn't even know each other, and then
yeah, I had that you guys was kind of like the same thing. I don't know.
well, I was in an interview and they were like healing with Aloha, and I didn't know how to correct them. And then towards the end, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I get you guys mixed up because who would have thought like healing?" So, you do. I think it's meant to be, because when you let go, you heal. I think you have to like be in the right mindset, right? Because if you hang on to all these past hurts, that's when the PTSD takes control of you. But if you
Yeah,
learn to process and you let go, like you said, inner child healing, journaling, affirmations, meditations, whatever it is to help you, heal, then you let go of the pain, and you're opening up, I mean, the opportunity for who knows what.
yeah, that is crazy. That two do really gonna. Hey, you can't get one without the other. So you need to let go, and then you get to start your healing. So you can both start your you guys go together. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's weird because and you know how we met? We signed up with this, it was a on-course line creation from someone in Sweden. And then
Mhm.
he messaged us and said, "Hey, there's someone who lives in Hawaii." And so I messaged her, and then now we've been talking like nearly every day. I mean,
That,
it's just so bizarre that, like this connection with you. I mean, now with Zoom, and I think the opportunities, right, of meeting people that are not even in your island or your state or you're even part of the world.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. You can connect with people who are not even in your country and stuff like that, and have a great relationship. Whether it's like you know you both do the same thing, or it's like it's not even like have anything to do with that. It's just you guys connect, but you're not even in the same country. You connect through like technology, but
Yeah, technology has really opened up. I mean, I had a parent summit last year, and I had someone from Israel, someone from England, someone from Canada, and I thought this could never have been possible. When you look at the pandemic, it was, catastrophic, but then you look at what it brought us to. Like now we're able
yeah,
to connect no matter
yeah.
where we are.
I do feel though it does take away in some aspects too. like having those
Oh, in
in-person
person? Yeah.
interactions, like nothing like you can't really simulate that. And plus, people be in their phones too much. They're programmed too much into it. Like for example, TikTok. Someone will be on TikTok. They'll be scrolling through like 100.
Hundreds and hundreds. And that's why we have short attention spans, right? If you can't say your message in 30 seconds or 90 seconds, you're just like, okay, wait, I'm bored, I'm bored. And I think that's what happened with like you said, there's upside and downside. But yeah,
Yeah,
nothing can match in-person
yeah.
connection.
What are ways, in your opinion, to if someone's like in their dealing with technology too much and they're not getting enough like nature and like time away from it, what tips would you give them?
I think, and we've done this as a family, sometimes it's hard, but you really have to focus on time, dedicate time to be off technology. So that means no phone, no laptop, which is hard, no Netflix, no social media. But even if you, because it is an addiction.
Yeah,
I told my family, I think part of us, I mean, I use it for business, but then even that can be an addiction, right? I need
yeah,
to do a parenting tip. I need to post this tip. So one of my friends literally leaves her phone in the back seat, like when she's driving, so she can, and she doesn't have a Bluetooth, but it really is dedicating time, and you have to put in your schedule. Like I know my daughter, who's 26, at 9 p.m., her phone shuts off.
yeah.
So sometimes during our FaceTime, it shuts off, and we're like, oh, it must be
Yeah,
past the,
cut off time.
it's cut off at 9 p.m., but it takes discipline. But I
Yeah,
think the rewards are so much more, and we'll find we need to ground ourselves. I mean,
yeah,
technology can really eat at your energy, don't you
yeah,
think?
yeah. It takes from you. I think getting outside and nature, that's
Yes,
really
nature can
important.
be so healing.
And I that's what I like to do is I like to at least get outside for a decent amount of time every day, and I like to be able to like not have my phone with me or anything, and just take it in, whether it's day or night,
Hmm.
which it can be hard to do in the winter, but you know it's a summer, and even this time of the year it's still nice enough for me to you know enjoy outside and like connect and kind of get away from technology, because that's like kind of a pet peeve of mine when someone's scrolling through the TikTok and I hear random song, random
Oh
sound
yeah.
spammed on each other. It'd be bothering me a little bit. I ain't gonna
But
lie.
have you ever been to a restaurant and everyone's on their phones? There is
Uh,
no interaction, and they have an opportunity to connect. But we saw someone, they're on a date, obviously, and both of them on their phone. And you
yeah,
think, will they be talking to each other? But a good thing you said, Bradley, even if it's cold, I heard that even 5 to 10 minutes looking outside, and sometimes it could just be the stars, or maybe it's black. It's just black, darkness, but you are essentially getting out of, right, your head, technology. And
yeah,
it's weird though, when you forget your phone at home and then you're out and about. It's funny how kids are like, oh my gosh, I don't have my phone, or my phone died, or
yeah, yeah. Another thing, if you're not able to get outside in the moment, this is really powerful for me. The frequency is 963, 528, 852, 432. Like the healing frequencies, meditation
Hmm.
frequencies.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are really beneficial. Just put your phone down and let it play in the background. Maybe sit down, lay down,
I've
but
done that, the
yeah,
binaural beats, and you just because sometimes we want lyrics, but it's amazing how even 10 minutes, if I'm in between sessions and I just feel that energy drain, I find it surprising that just 10 minutes of listening, to that high frequency energy.
yeah, it's really healing. There's some people too who put like whatever you listen to, they put a lot of the newer music in those frequencies. So 528, 432. etc. They don't go too much into the higher ones like 852, but there are some, but it's mainly 432. And
I'll have to remember that.
yeah, they got like R&B stuff like Janae Aiko stuff, people
Hmm.
like that. Yeah, Summer Walker. I'm not sure what they got for like the older stuff, but I know they got some newer stuff.
Well, I'm sure you can find it. Is that's what's the beauty of YouTube, right? It's
Yeah,
amazing that sometimes I'm like 5 minute energy meditation, and there it is. Just to
yeah. You can search for anything really. Uh, if
you
you
can.
need help to meditate, that's how I learned how to meditate. I thought I was doing it wrong too. I was like looking at my phone every 2 seconds, and it only in a minute it hadn't even went by yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes discipline, like you said, and a lot of things take discipline. But
Well, and practice, right? Because when you start practicing, they always say if you have a hard time, just do like 2 minutes and then maybe like 5 minutes. And some
uh,
people who can't sit still, they can do like a walking meditation, right?
yeah, yeah,
Some
exactly.
people they just look outside. Now I look back at my dad used to just look outside and we wondering like what was he doing? But that's even a form of
Yeah,
meditation.
creative
Yeah.
is another way of meditation because you're kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of channeling that energy within, and you're creating in your authentic state.
And you're just clearing your mind. I mean, that's I think the key. Or
Yeah,
acknowledging the thoughts are there, but not engaging in them, you
yeah,
know?
not giving energy to all the thoughts. You're not getting so deep into your rabbit hole.
Yes,
You're
that rabbit
not
hole can get you in trouble.
yeah, not judging yourself. Yeah, and getting to a point where you love yourself more and more every day and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I want to say though, it was wonderful having you on today. I appreciate.
Thank you so much, Bradley. I just really enjoyed this, and I think what you're doing is amazing. Keep that journey because I think all of us need to learn how to channel that energy.
Thank you. I love your journey too. I want to get into motivational speaking as well. Eventually, and you're inspiration to a lot of people. You keep
Oh,
doing what you're
thank
doing.
you. Thank you. Well, you should, yeah, keep doing it because I think a lot of motivational speakers, that's what we need, right? We need to teach people how to channel their energy and not just remain depressed or in that, like you said, that negative state. But thank you.
Yeah.
I really
Thank.
enjoyed this.